Hi, my name is Shauri Montiel, and here is my evidence tree. So we're gonna start. Yes. So yeah, here is my evidence tree of contemporary work. So yeah. Well, so the instructions are list and briefly describe important events of the last decades from the crisis of the socialist bloc until today, the digital era. So here are some of the following concepts that uh, should should be described. There are globalization, terrorism, and unipolar world, and the digital era, of course. Then it says, think deeply about each concept. Make a description that allows you to connect each term with the list of events provide, provided previously, and then answer the following question. The first one, why did the globalization emerge? Second one, in most cases, what caused the terrorist attacks of the 20th century? The third one, how does the end of the Cold War relate with the unipolar war? And the fourth one, how was the digital era influenced today's society? So we're gonna start first with events. So here are some of the events. The first one is the Cold War ends. Yeah, it's down here, but it's the first one. And here's the brief description that says economy, the Soviet Union, the economy faced the continuously escalating cost of the arms race. And it says, although there was never a military or physical conflict, and I'm going to remind you that the Cold War concept is that there is never a physical conflict. There is not like a war because the war are most commonly physically, but in this case, this one it is not. So yeah, and it says in late 1991, the Soviet Union itself dissolved into its component republics. Yeah, so this never um, turned into a real war, or just said. Okay, the second event is the Nelson Mandela Parade, which is Africa frees Mandela imprisoned by 27 and a half years. That is too much. And it says here, so in 1993 won a Nobel Peace Prize, and in 1994 he was elected president. Yeah, he was the first president of Africa. Yeah. The second event here is Iraq invades Kuwait, and it says the description says Saddam Hussein. You know how it's pronounced. It says the dictator of Iraq invaded Kuwait, so the U.S. President George H.W. Bush began preparation to protect other Arab nations and liberate Kuwait through the Operation Desert Storm, which latest 2.5 months at the end called the Persian Gulf. Okay, so I'm gonna put another slide because there is another event, but in here I can put it because the description was too big. So the event the event that goes first of the Cheese earthquake, it's Twin Tower collapse. And yeah, here's a description of the event that says, a jet crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. As the evacuation of the tower and its twin got underway, television cameras broadcast live images of what initially appeared to be a freak accident. Then, 80 minutes after the first plane hit, a second jet appeared out of the sky, turned sharply toward the World Trade Center, and cut into the South Tower. Okay, the impact left a gaping, burning hole near the 80th and 60th floor, resulted in extensive deaths. Yeah, here says that it was more than 3,000 people. This could be considered as a consequence, but it is not. Well, yeah, it's not. It's like it's more like a complete description of what this event was about. Yeah, and also here that says that the collision caused an explosions that shown fire the buildings and street below, and in here says that it caused a damage in the economy of the lower Manhattan because yeah, I mean if you of course know about these events, you know that the damage of this was huge. So yeah, so sorry, we're gonna go back to the other slide. Oh, sorry, that is the fifth event. That's the IT earthquake. That's not recent, but it was 5 years ago. So it's the most recent in this event in this presentation. So yeah. And here the description says that in 2010, a magnitude of 7.0 earthquake devastated the Caravan Island nation of Haiti. Yes. The quake, which was the strongest to strike the region in more than 200 years, left over 200 million people dead and some 895 million Haitians homeless. And yeah, we know that also this event was huge. We know that because, well, I didn't put this in the description, but I mean some of singers artists made a song that was especially about the talk about especially this uh, earthquake that was a T, and with that they recorded millions and millions of dollars to help the Haitians that were homeless. Okay, so we already see this event. So the next one is the terms, the definitions, and relation with the events. So the first term is sorry, the first term is the globalization, that it's the movement that is toward everything with the economic, financial, trade, and the integration, of course, of the communications. Yes, the name says you can infer it. Um, the major factors of the globalization are the advances in the transportation, such as jet engineering, container ships, and also this includes the rise of the telegraph, but the modern ones now are the internet mobile phones. Yeah, we know that. Okay, the second one, tourism, is when you use the violence. So, okay, yes, I made here a mistake, but it's violence as the only way you use to impose a government or to resist to the government, and all this can be done by the fear and the submission normally, and is to achieve a goal. Yeah, normally the terrorist attack are to achieve a goal. Unipolar world is when you have a dominating state that has a big amount of power in the economic, military, and political areas. And the fourth one is a digital era, that is to change from the mechanical and the analog and also the electronic technology to the digital, as the name says it, of course. And it's mainly characterized by the use of technology, and of course you can infer this also from the same name that says digital era. Okay, so now what goes next is the relation with the events. So the definition of the globalization, I can, for example, well, in my opinion, I can relate it with the Cold War in the invasion of Iraq to Kuwait, because, for example, in those there were allies, and for example, they could the globalization small is to like spread, that everything we do is to spread, that well, no, that has the necessity to spread. So maybe in this the relation can be that, for example, they created weapons for the war, so they were like send it to the US, or for example this to Kuwait, or help the people and everything for the war. Okay, the tourism, yes, that one can be, this one can be easily with a Twin Tower collapse, of course. If you remember, this was, of course, immediately related with a terrorist attack. So yes, the unipolar world also can be related with the Cold War. Yes, the state, because for example, the unipolar world is that dominating state, and for example, you can automatically relate it with the US. You know? So the last one that was a digital era. This I related with the Twin Tower collapse, and also I don't know what to put here, the IT's earthquake, because I mean, for example, the information extra that I told you, that was that artist made, made a song that was about IT's earthquake, that the letter was about helping the people and everything. And for example, this video became famous because it was like spread, and it was shown in many of the countries, so people know about a cheese earthquake and help. So yes, of course, is related with the digital era. So was the Twin Tower collapse, that was transmitted with, there was cameras that were shooting what was happening. So yes, this can automatically relate with the digital era. So now the questions. The first one says, why did the globalization emerge? Well, here the answer, I showed that was here. It says that the globalization refers to something that's worldwide, as I said it before, and it has to do with everything. It is related with everything, like in the definition described. Yeah, mainly, yeah. And well, here's my opinion, that I think that the globalization emerged because everything that we did or do has like the necessity to expand all around the world. And an example could be transfer of goods to other parts. For example, I was saying the weapons that were sent, like to the countries for war. Yeah, like later I said that it has a necessity to spread around the world. Second one, in most cases, what caused the terrorist attack of the 20th century? And here's my opinion again, and I say that I think maybe the terrorism can be caused by many things. Mostly there is terrorism can be for political issues. Yeah, mostly the common attacks of terrorism, the cause of terrorist attack are mostly for political issues. Sorry, I didn't said my idea. And yeah, or there's also the definition, in the definition, that it's a method also for governing, and yes, maybe that was the main reason, possibly, why there was tourism. And it says also there is that desire could be governing and impose their beliefs. Yes, most of the time it's also that, and force people to accept only what they said, or do only, yeah, do what they say, and have the belief and make the beliefs of them yours. The third one, how does the end of Cold War relate with the unipolar world? Well, I think that maybe the way the Cold War with the Cold War with the unipolar world can relate is that, for example, in the Cold War, as I said before, also the one that has a power, the state that was dominating, or the one that has more power economically and military, it was the US. So that's maybe the relation they had. And the last one is how the digital era influenced today's society. And here it says that it was considered the third industrial revolution. So as this was considered like the third industrial revolution, the digital era is mainly, of course, as the name says it, in its charter is mainly for the technology and the digital technology, and it has a lot of influence in our days because it is for us the main instrument for the communication, and it's also the main source of information. So the last thing is here are the reference. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.